I signed 3 clients in 8 days for my marketing agency. In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys exactly how I did it, from the call recordings to the meeting recordings to breaking down the strategy I used to close each client one by one. So it started when I had just gone off a sales call with a potential dental client. And during the call, he was telling me that when a patient comes in for a consultation and they don't end up accepting treatment, he never follows up with them. And I was like, yeah, of course you still want to follow up with them. I mean, they came to you because they had a problem and they left with their problem still unsolved. The pain of having that problem is still there. The opportunity is still there. You need to reach back out to them with some payment plans or a discount, whatever it takes, but that patient is still closable. And I was thinking about this after, and I had a realization. I'm doing the exact same thing with my own marketing agency. Whenever a potential client doesn't sign on, it's typically sayonara. I never really speak to them again after that. Usually, I assume it's because they made a stupid business decision, because once they come into the consultation, they let me know what their problem is. And they say, hey, I'm trying to get an X amount of new patients a month, or I'm trying to reach an X amount in production a month. And I tell them, like, yeah, hey, we can solve that problem for you, but they still don't sign on, which means they don't trust me enough to deliver on what was promised in the sales call. And I was like, okay, I need to reach back out to these people because their problem is still there. The pain of not growing their practice is still there. The opportunity is still there for me as well. So I knew I had to reach back out to these people, but I couldn't do it in the same way before because they already denied the first offer. It's kind of like that Kevin Hart special where he's trying to get his wife back, but he knows he needs to do something different to add new spark into the relationship. He needs to reinvent himself. He needs to give hope that this time things can change, that this time things can actually be different. So I had to do the exact same thing. I had to come up with a new offer that compensated for them not trusting me. The best offer I came up with was a performance-based offer, which is, in the dental industry, it's a pay per show offer. So they pay me per patient that actually shows up to their appointment, compared to the retainer model we had before. Even with the retainer model, we still guaranteed appointments, but now with this offer, we guarantee showed appointments, and we only get compensated after the patient shows up to their appointment. And as well as, like, there's a setup fee as well, but most of our compensation comes from patients actually showing up to their appointment. So I was like, okay, we have this new offer, and I wrote down my script to reach out back to all my meetings I had in the previous 1.5 years to almost 2 years of reaching out to dentists. I had a lot of meetings actually with people that didn't end up closing. So I decided to reach back out to these people with my new script. And I have the call recording of the first client I ended up signing on. So this is how I reached back out to them.
Sorry, who am I talking to? You're speaking to Sarab, founder of SN Marketing. We had a meeting back in December of 2021 about, I think actually December 2020, about getting Al's Dental more patients. And at the time you were interested, but we didn't end up moving forward. Does that ring a bell?
Facebook and Instagram? Was it Facebook and Instagram?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, bro.
Pardon?
Yeah. I remember, you know.
Okay, yeah. Well, the reason for the call today, Anas, is that we have an amazing offer this month at SN Marketing that's been doing super well for our other clinics. And, I'd like to share it with you if you're interested in hearing it out.
Actually, no, because I'm visiting people.
Of course.
Yeah. If you can give me a call on Monday. I'll be free.
All right. Let me see my calendar here. How about Monday at 2 p.m.?
Sure.
Cool. All right. Do you want me to add it in as a Zoom call so I can show the results we're getting for other dentistries as well?
Sure.
All right. Cool. All right. Let me get
Okay, so that's how I set the meeting with him again. I didn't even tell him about the new offer, but he was open to having another meeting. And he tried to make it a phone call at first, but I always try to convert that into a Zoom call by saying, hey, like in the Zoom call, I can share my screen and show you results we're getting for other clinics as well, which is what I would recommend to anybody, because in the Zoom call, like you can read their facial expressions. It helps you out in the sales a lot, and they can see you as well. And they can, even you're able to share your screen as well. And even in the Zoom call I did end up having with this guy, it was a pretty easy sale. Like I didn't have a good script. I didn't really have that much of a good sales ability in the call. Like it wasn't even one of my good sales calls, but I still ended up closing him after like the sales call was only for like 15 to 20 minutes. And it was just more of we already knew each other. So it was just more of a back and forth kind of question and answer of how everything would go. So yeah, pretty easy call. And like, it wasn't even my ability of sales. It was just the offer kind of sold itself to some degree. I still had to do some things, but for the most part, the offer sold itself. The next day after I signed this guy, I get a text message. Hey, I don't know if you got my email or not, but I'm ready to move forward. And I'm like, who's this? And I look at the contact name, and it was an old potential client that I had a call with about a week ago who didn't end up signing on originally. And this is how the call originally went. And then, yeah, our service fee is only $1,100 a month. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, cool, man. So the way it works with all of our clients is we're going to take payment now and get you started right away.
Can I give you a day before I fill this out?
Pardon?
Can I get back to you by tomorrow before I fill this out?
I do need you to be with you on the call while I figure it out, just so I can make sure the link works properly.
For the payment?
Yeah.
Is it possible if I can pay tomorrow? I just want to confirm a couple things for finances on my end before I pay this.
What do you mean?
In terms of, because I have other things I need to pay for plus the other marketing stuff, so I just got to make sure it fits in my budget. $1,100. It should be fine, but I just want to make sure before I pay them. Okay, sounds good, man. I do want to, because while we're on the phone, I do want to make sure we get the contract in as well. So are you good with signing the contract now? Let me get back to you. Like, I'm 100%, like, I'm in for this, but I just need to make sure the budgeting stuff. There's no point in signing the contract, just obviously if I can't pay for it, right?
So he didn't end up signing on after the first call, even though like this guy was for the original offer, and up until that point, he had everything I told him. Yes. Send him the payment link. He opens the payment link. That's when he had to check his finances. So I did have a script ready for people like this, and I didn't follow it properly on the call. And even if I did follow the script, like my tonality wasn't there. It got a little awkward. So yeah, I could have done a lot better of trying to, like, I think I still could have closed this guy on the first call. If I'd done everything properly, like I still could have closed this guy on the first call. Regardless, I wasn't successful at it. So I had to call him the next day because he said he's going to pay like today or tomorrow. So okay, I'll call him the next day. Oh man, just been super busy. I'll pay today or tomorrow again. So now the conversation changed. So all right, cool. Never ends up paying. I call him again a few days later. And he's like, yeah, now the conversation really changes, because at first he had to check his finances. Now he said, yeah, before I sign on to anything, I like to do my research beforehand. Are you able to send me some references of previous clinics you've worked with? And I did show him case studies on the call, but I was like, yeah, sure. I emailed him 3 previous dentistries we worked with in the past for him to call and to confirm or whatever he wanted to do with those names. Still didn't hear back from him after that. So I call him again a few days later for the third time, my third follow-up call. And he's like, yeah, it's been super busy again. I still haven't had a chance to reach out to those people, but I'll do it soon. And I was like, oh man. Like after that call, I was like, after the first call, it was like 50-50. I'm like, okay, there's still a 50% chance I can still close this guy. Now it was like more of like a 90-10 at a 10% chance of still closing this guy, because to me, when someone tells me they're really busy a lot of times, like multiple times in a row, it just tells me that whatever service we have, it's not as it's not as much of a priority to them as it should be. It's not as important to them as it should be, which is why they put it at the end of their to-do list and they use their 24 hours in the day that every single person has on doing other stuff. So I took it as he just wasn't interested in signing on for whatever reason. There was underlying uncertainty in there. You can tell when he said that he wanted to check his finances, that there was some uncertainty in his voice. So I knew there was something in the call that we didn't go over fully, or something he was still unsure about, whatever it was. Now that underlying uncertainty has come to light, and I was like, man, I should have just addressed the underlying uncertainty in the call. I should have took it further and asked him more questions. But yeah, too late for that now. Maybe I'll follow up with him one more time or do something. But yeah, probably not going to close this guy. And then I get that text message saying he wants to move forward. So I was like, yes, send him the contract and everything signed. And yeah, we were good to move forward. So one of the things I did for that client was I followed up with a phone call. So my hierarchy of outreach methods or even communication methods are email at the very bottom, then text message, then phone call, and then Zoom call. The thing with a Zoom call, it has to be scheduled. You can't just Zoom somebody. So below that, it's like, okay, I'm going to follow up with this guy through phone call. I did send some text messages as well, but all my 3 follow-ups with him were through phone call. So that's what I would recommend to anybody, because that's the purest form of communication you can do beyond, like in real life or Zoom, because you can hear the other person's tonality. It's real back and forth time. And it's my favorite way of communicating, because I can know an answer right away and we can settle something right away instantly, compared to multiple text messages or emails, whatever it is. So I'd recommend following up through phone call for anybody. Now, the third client that I signed, originally he was actually scheduled for the previous day. And if you had shown up on the previous day and didn't reschedule a meeting, I would have signed 3 clients in 2 days, which would have made such a better headline. But he ended up rescheduling for the following week. So now it's 3 clients in 8 days. So this guy was for the paper show offer. So originally I had a call with him a year prior for the monthly retainer fee. He didn't accept it because he wanted his brother to do it. So I followed up with him, and this is how the call went.
Hey, GP, how have you been?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. It's Sarab, founder of SN Marketing. We had a meeting back in July of 2021 about getting dental more patients, and at the time you were interested, but we didn't end up moving forward. Does that ring a bell?
I know. Was it about the online thing? Like about generating the lead?
Yeah. It was about bringing dental more patients through Facebook and Instagram ads. And the reason for the call today is that we have an amazing offer this month at SN Marketing that's been doing super well for our other clinics. And, I'd like to share with you if you're interested in hearing it out.
Okay, actually, I was somewhere. Can I call you back some other time, because I won't have enough time for this talk?
Yeah, for sure. Let me see my calendar here. Sounds good. We'll go from there, man. So I'll add you in for 11:45 on Monday. So it'll be a Zoom call like we had last time. And then,
Okay, so this guy, I had my new script ready for him, and I called him. He was interested, and he tried to say he was going to call me back. Now, whenever someone says that, I never accept that. I'll always try to schedule him in. So I did with him when he said he's trying to call me back. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just schedule a time. And then once we did, I was like, hey, it'll just be a Zoom call like we had the first time. And he's like, okay. So that's how I converted it from the phone call into the Zoom call, which is like what I prefer to do when I'm having a meeting with anybody. So, and this guy was like a hard client to close. Like I go on the Zoom call with him and he tells me what had happened. So he didn't sign on with us, but he ended up signing on with his brother instead, who didn't even have a marketing agency. He was just some kind of social media marketer, did some stupid shit like that. He ended up signing on with his brother, spending a lot of money, and it was just a complete mess. And he didn't get any results from it. And I was like, oh no, like this is gonna be such a hard sale to close, because whatever uncertainty he had the first time with us, Now that uncertainty, whether maybe he was like at a 5 the first time, which is why he didn't sign on. Now he's probably at like a 2 because before he was like, yeah, maybe it could work, maybe it couldn't work. Now he thought that Facebook ads don't work at all. Like that marketing strategy doesn't work at all. Since his brother did it for him, his brother failed. Why can anyone else do better? And that's what people do. A lot of dentists actually do that when they try running any kind of advertising themselves first and they're unsuccessful at it. They just blame it on the platform instead of blaming it on their own skills. So anyways, when I got on the call with this guy, he told me his story and he's just so, his certainty level was so low, like it was such a low point, like at a 2 or 3, whatever. And so I was like, I had to work so much harder to bring it back up to like a 10, at least like a 7 for him to get him to close with the new offer. So I'll play some clips of our sales call now. I've dealt with a lot of receptions as well. And our patient success team is the absolute best at dealing with the patients as well, talking to them in a way that shows them that we actually care about them, that we actually want to solve their problem and want them to have better lives.
Okay, so yeah, it's good. Okay, yeah, like give me some time to think about it. Like I don't want to rush it, right?
No, right now is the best time because we have.
I know, but let me think about like how it's gonna work for me. Yeah. So
Okay.
maybe I will get back to you.
I have a meeting set up in Calgary next week as well. So I do want to, we only take on 1 clinic per area. So I do want to get going today. I know we're going to get amazing results for you. I can even show you examples of the ads. If you want to see some examples of the types of ads we can run for you, I can show you messages of my clients right now of how happy they are if you want to see those as well. But I want to let you know that I will do everything it takes to get you the best results possible. So that's why when we do these high return on investment procedures, it's like we're going to get people to come in a huge return on investment on the front end, but on the back end as well, once they come in every 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So just give me like a couple of days and let me think about it. And I can give you then once I decide, I can set up a budget for that.
Yeah. Does the overall idea make sense to you? Do you like the idea?
I like the idea. Like this is how most of the people are doing right now because I get so many ads on my Facebook or Instagram. They're like implant machine and get 30 patients in a month, all those ads, right? It again depends like how many turn into actual patients. But just give me a couple of days to think about it and then I can get back to you.
But I want you to know that with me, with my team, and how we do business with all of our clients, we work hard. We work 24 hours a day if it needs to. Like we'll do whatever it takes to get our clients the best results possible. We're always furthering our education. We're always even updating our offers to get our clients even better results. And that's our number 1 goal. My number 1 goal is to get you the highest return on investment possible. And let me say this, like GP, I'm going to feel bad if we got off the call today and you're not a client of mine because I know we're going to achieve such amazing results for you. And I really don't want you to miss out on this.
Okay. Sounds really good. So I will get back to you in 1 or 2 days. Okay, Saram?
So yeah, this guy was a difficult close. He just kept giving me objection after objection. And I knew his objections were actually smoke screens for uncertainty, which is why I maintained my frame. I followed my script and I used all the right tonalities to get him to increase his root level of certainty. That was truly my goal, to increase his root level of certainty to a high enough point that he would agree to sign on. And to do that, having really good rebuttal subjections isn't good enough. I needed to actually show him results and make him truly believe that we're going to get results for him. And the offer helped with that a lot because that lowered the risk, mixed in with me increasing the certainty to a point where he eventually ended up signing on. And he actually didn't end up signing on this call. Even though I had a really good sales call on my end, I showed him case studies, results. I showed him even messages of other clients messaging me saying how happy they are with our services. And the offer was so good too. I was like, man, this guy has to be an idiot if he still doesn't sign on after this call. And thankfully, he hit me up the next day saying, hey, I'm ready to sign on now. And I ended up taking payment. But Even if he didn't, I was still happy with the result because I truly did everything I could on my end to close this deal. And when I truly do everything on my end, the outcome doesn't matter. I'm okay with the result. As long as I have a really good sales call, I'm okay if they don't end up signing on because I know I did everything I possibly could. So that's the story of the third client. Overall, the biggest lesson I learned from this is that even if a client doesn't sign on after the first sales call, there's still hope because their problem still isn't solved. I still have more opportunities to close that client if I follow up properly, which is what I intend to do from now on. So with my monthly retainer fee, I have a 16% closing rate. With my new paper show offer, I have a 67% closing rate. From 16% to 67%, just from changing up the offer. Obviously, since the last time I've spoken to them, my sales strategies have gone a lot better as well, but mostly that huge difference from 16% to 67% is due to just the offer being so good. And that's what I intend to do for my agency from now on. I intend to have such a good offer that it's almost impossible to say no to. That's how good of an offer I want to have. And the performance offer seems like the move. I'm still going to try to go with my monthly retainer offer at first, just because it's slightly less of a headache than the performance offer because I don't have to track every single appointment that shows up. But yeah, the performance offer or having just a super good offer, that's what's really going to get me and take me to new heights with my agency. So that's what I would recommend for anyone else. I hope you guys got some value from this and enjoyed this one. And yeah, I'll see you next time.